Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where they're open for business, serving fresh, hot food around the clock. Right about now, that's the best thing you can say about any business anywhere. Joined by Ramon Foster in lovely Hendersonville, Tennessee. That doesn't appear to be the Ramon Cave. What is that? It's not the Ramon Cave.
This is my office, man. It's where I come and do. See my degree up on the wall, man. The wife's that's there. This is, I guess, it's my think space. Most time when I'm writing, I'm usually in here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you were like out in the kitchen and everything. You need to be. You're one of those that needs to be locked away when you're writing.
I do. I need to be locked in because I get all my thoughts, and if I got a go and I write it down as I continue to write and just go from there. So got a little pad here I write on. Simple stuff you do. Doodling, stop. I can get on computer and browse if I hit a hard break somewhere. So multi-purpose room, office, I guess.
No, that's all right too. There's no TV, no nothing there.
No, just the monitor. Of course, I'll look at something to find an article, do some research a little bit.
But no distractions.
No distraction. I got the white noise with the family out in the house, so it all works. Or I'll play an album I really know, so I'm not listening to the content. I'm hearing the content. So
right, you're experiencing it, but you're not listening. Right, it makes a difference.
It's like putting The Office on.
Because you've already seen every episode twice. Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
The Steelers hired Adrian Clem this week to be their new offensive line coach, promoted offensive line coach. He was an assistant under Sean Surratt. You've worked with Coach Clem and you like him. And now and I know that the Steelers took some shots for this because it just looked like they went down the hallway to the next door that was available and said, "Hey, you want to be offensive line coach? Okay, the job is yours." What's the truth about this?
That wasn't the case at all. Clem got brought on, like seriously, he got brought on a couple years ago. And the thing about Clem is this: Clem is a guy, man, that I know it had. Of course, people look him up. You get a new job, you become president of the United States, you become president of anything, they're gonna look you up. And he had this NCAA stuff that came up a little bit. I'm not sure what that case is, but he has some issues over there. I think that's mostly resolved from what I understand about it. I can't really speak on this case, but it was resolved. And of course, the story of what's out there isn't what, from my understanding, not talking to him, but talking to other guys that were around that situation, because guys have those type of conversations, that it wasn't as it was painted out to be. Okay. This isn't from him. This is from guys that were around that situation or knew of it also. So I saw some people want to paint him as a bad person. That's not the case. He's a guy that was, at the time when he was in college, one of the best hands down recruiters in the nation. And actually last year and this year was actually sought out to be like run game coordinator / assistant head coach or line coach at some of the major schools in the NCAA. He actually asked me, "Hey, if this job comes up, you think I should take it?" I'm like, "No, you're an NFL coach." And this was like, he relates to guys, man. This is what you're gonna get with the offensive line behind him. And I know I'm kind of here and there, but this is what you're gonna get. Clem is a guy that played hard, played tough, played through a lot of injuries, played through a lot of everything. He's a Super Bowl winner. And the guys that he's brought up throughout his college coaching career have all been gritty guys. So I'm just going to name one, and it's Kelvin Beachum.
I knew you were going for Beach. I knew you were.
Because he brings guys like Beach along, where if you look at Beach walking down the street, he's a regular pedestrian probably, right? He could pass.
More than me. I don't want to. Yeah, Beach doesn't overwhelm you like with broad shoulders or something like that, where you would say to yourself, "There's an athlete." But Beach obviously has some size to him.
Yeah, but he's not your stereotypical starting left tackle.
He definitely does not have a left tackle frame.
If you ask Beach about his progress to the league, he would start with Exhibit A. Adrian Clem helped me get to where I am now. He created a mindset in me to show me that I can do more than what you expect me to do. So he's going to have guys, man, and it's truly the best time for him to be the offensive line coach. You may have a room full of all young guys. We
Amazing.
still don't know. Again, I said this last week with you. We still don't know what Marquise is going to do at this point. Al is in the limbo. I mean, his contract is up, so you know that position is going to be vacant. And if so, it's either going to be maybe Zach or Chooks, or they draft somebody, whatever the case may be, or find another veteran. The oldest guy on there is going to be Dave, potentially. Even if Matt Fowler, which we kind of brain farted with Matt last year, but even he's a guy that's still relatively young. He's going to have a room of guys that you want to be nasty, gritty, young dudes. The way he helped develop Kevin Dotson this year, case in point, J.C. Hausner, like Sean Surratt had mostly the older guys when it comes to coaching them up. Like he dealt with them, and Clem would usually get the B group, the younger guys. The way young Derwin came into play. Ask him for all the listeners, at him and ask Derwin how he feel about Coach Clem. He's going to tell you he helped me tremendously with my development. The nastiness that you're used to, that's what Clem's all about. He demands a lot out of his guys. He keeps it simple. And his approach is you got to start with an attitude. The technique and understanding of the game after it is the most beautiful thing that he pushes guys towards, man. And depending on how this room turns out this year, that's the coach you need in place. And that's all due respect to Coach Sean Surratt. Like, I know changing jobs and everything, not getting your contract renewed is a terrible, terrible thing. But one guy's misfortune is another guy's opportunity. So
yeah, and one thing that, I mean, if you can, because I know you've heard certain things over the course of this search and hiring process, you can confirm for people that there was an actual search. Like, this wasn't some charade.
No, let me tell you this. I know a little bit more than others about this. There was multiple coaches that were brought in and interviewed for this. It wasn't just him. Think about it. He had multiple interviews with them. He also had other teams trying to grab him, also pro and college. So for a guy that people claim has baggage, a lot of people were willing to tote that along. So if you got to ask yourself if they're willing to grab on to him and see that he's able to do certain things, if he was able to do it on the college level, which is where this team as a whole is trending, it's about to get young. And you got to have coaches the same way we rave about young head coaches now, young coordinators on both sides of the ball. You got to be able to relate to the athlete these days. And I'm not saying being friends with them, but you got to really understand them. Even me, as an older guy, was just looking around like spinning sometime at some of the stuff that they do. You know, speaking of, like, I was 11 years in, and you got guys in year 2, 3, and 4 that's just like, oh, that's the new trend. Yeah. You know, so he's equipped for that. If Coach Tomlin is smart, hiring Matt Canada's guy that came directly from college, he's equipped for that. Just all across the board, man, you gotta adjust to the times. And Adrian Clem is one of those dudes, and he's for people that want the hard-nosed, no-nonsense coach, you found him.
Ramon, you made a couple of references to the young offensive line, potentially really young offensive line, depending on how it shakes out. Let's build it. Let's do this.
Oh, man.
Left to right.
Yeah, left to right.
And that's presuming.
If I'm banking.
Let's presume, just for the purposes of this fun little exercise, that Al's gone, that Filer's gone, that Marquise is gone, and that Dave is still here.
Al, Filer, and
Marquise.
Who again?
The entire everything
Marquise.
From center to the left. I don't think that's unrealistic.
Jeez.
I don't think that's unrealistic.
We're going to find out probably soon enough what's going to happen.
Right,
so I'll say this from left to right. Al's gone. Also, didn't mention this about Adrian Clem. Zach Banner was one of the highest recruited players coming out of high school his senior year. Who recruited him was Adrian Clem. Only reason Zach didn't go to UCLA is because he'd rather be a USC guy. The UCLA USC dynamic was kind of like, And ask Zach when you get the opportunity. Why didn't you want to go? He's like, I didn't want to go there with those pretty boys. You know, like USC was a little bit more gritty. And he was like, man,
something ridiculous. He'd say, yeah.
But he would tell you like it pained him not to go play for Coach Clem. And he, you know, it was one of those things. Now it can come full circle. So, being that you like the type of player that Zach was, and the fact that Clem recruited him, you get a chance to see how much development Clem can push towards Zach also. So left tackle?
Left, not right.
No,
even though
left.
Chooks has
Zach
more
going
snaps,
left.
even though Chooks has more experience on the football field, you want Zach at left.
I want Zach at left.
Oh man. Why are you doing that? I mean, look, Zach was on the right when he got hurt in East Rutherford.
I know.
But that's just because Allie was on the left. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
If Al wasn't there, Zach would be on the left. Chooks would have been on the right. Zach at left. Zach is the stereotypical left tackle. His fortitude, will to play left tackle, his dream to play left tackle. You know, like I know this guy was over 400 pounds at one point in his career, almost ate himself out of the league. Like that's a reality, and he'll tell you that.
He has told me about it.
Everything about that shows that, hey, look, screw you. I did what I was supposed to do. I'm a left tackle. Put me at left tackle. He would fight whoever to be at that position. I'll say that because I know him. He would co-sign.
Well, he'll probably fight me if I express any additional doubt about it. So let's move on there. We have Zach Banner at left tackle.
Zach Banner at left.
Let's talk about left guard because it's not Ramon Foster anymore. It's probably not going to be Matt Filer. Who's it going to be? Is Kevin Dotson your left guard?
Kevin Dotson's my left guard.
Starting right off the bat, without competition, without a push. I'm going to be the devil's advocate in all of these here. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. One thing that Kevin Colbert and his staff are recruiting, Brandon Hunt are able to do is find those small, I ain't going to say small school, group of 5 school players that get overshadowed by everybody else and find ways to get them. Like, you talk to anybody that's trained Dotson or been around him, they'll tell you it was a snub to the fact that he wasn't a combine invite or possibly even going higher. That kid's a young stud, man. I like him at left.
Okay. I mean, I'm certainly not in a position to argue that after his performance, and especially after the stuff that you just talked about in the first segment about Adrian Clem's emphasis on nastiness and being physical. Because as long as we're dropping names here, I'll say this: number of offensive linemen in 2020 who played that way consistently. Okay. So he can uphold the proud tradition at left guard of having someone really nasty and mean. It gets everybody mad at him, and then he walks away from it like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing.
You in the Bengals games, not to change the subject, but you in the Bengals games, I don't know what kind of crimes you would commit down there, but you would get up from that pile and go back to the huddle like, what?
No, this is a smile and laugh that you like, but I was terrible out there, man. I'll be real with you. Dotson I like, and Clem was the guy that's able to feed him gunpowder, and he's just going to go. Right. Clem is, Dotson left. Center, you said Harkis is gone.
The center does not exist in the organization.
I'll say this. This is going to blow your mind. If we're taking left LT and C out, it could affect RG. And I'll get to that in a second. This is all hypotheticals, but let me go there for a second. Okay. Center, if we're going to do anything, the Steelers have a long history of getting a first rounder at center.
Yep.
Will they address first round in a year this year? I doubt it. They could, but I don't know. They're supposed to pick in a position that says that a center should be there.
Yeah, but
they're supposed to pick in a position.
Yeah,
I know.
but
So
you don't force. What you're saying is right. Is that you don't, in this calendar year, when you have the franchise quarterback back for another year or whatever, I don't think you're messing around and bringing in a center that's not going to be able to play right away. And if you're if that center isn't a young Marquise, he's not going to be able to do what Marquise did, which is just walk onto the field at St. Vincent College like, look at me, I'm here to play. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's if they do get anybody, it might be a second rounder at center. Like you said, if Marquise is gone, you started it off by taking 3 out. You took Matt, you took Al, you took Pounce out of the equation. It's either J.C. Hausner and they find a second rounder at center.
They got to go get a free agent.
So
they got to get a free agent. Look.
I'll say this:
it's not impossible. It's not impossible.
I'll say this: if they were smart, they would try to get BJ back.
Oh, I knew you were bringing up BJ too.
If they.
Oh, wait! You know who would agree with you on that?
Who?
The head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. and you know that is true. You know that is true. He loves BJ Finney. The whole thing made no sense. Nothing about that.
That's why I was going.
It's just.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When that one didn't get signed back, when BJ did not get signed back, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I hear you. All right, let's go to right guard. There are no answers at center.
Okay,
you said something about Dave there. Yeah.
All right, so if you take left tackle Al out and I put Zach there, Matt's also gone. I put Dotson there, and centers is either going to be Hausner or BJ Finney in a in division trade. It's going to be hard for me, honestly, to see Dave still be there. This is all hypothetical. This is just me freelancing my thoughts about this.
Yeah.
Dave and Al's relationship is so tight.
It's something different. Yep.
And you took Marquise out of the equation also. You took away a guy that's potentially something he's familiar with. No, a guy that he is familiar with, and you put him with J.C. Hausner. If I were the Steelers, and you looking to say, okay, we're going to go for the gusto and try to find as much as we can, my thought would be this. And some people ain't gonna like this. This might create a whole bunch of headway. But and considering also what Dave potentially got to get paid and should get paid, I would probably try to trade him away.
Yeah.
Get some draft capital and build with a new era. It ain't gonna be pretty to say that. It ain't gonna be what you want to hear. But if you take my best friend, my coworker for the last 9 years away, also, you take Matt away. Yeah. You lasted the Mohicans. Like when I was left, I was like year 4.
Yeah, it's a different.
Still able to, and then I still transitioned up with Pounce. When Willie, when Max, when Trey, when Chris Kimawatu all were exited out, I still came up. They had me, they had Pounce, they had Gil, then they got Dave. Year after year after year. The transition was a whole lot smooth. You talking about year? What would that be for Dave? 10?
Yes.
Or year 9? Year 10, the next guy is year 3, realistically? Year 3, year 4? Was that
Chooks? Yeah.
4?
It's inexperienced. Again, unless you go out and you get a free agent center, but yeah.
I'm not saying Dave.
I hear you.
I'm just
saying it's tough. The only easy one on this whole line is Chooks RT, and we'll end right there because Chooks Okorafor is going to be this team's right tackle.
That's gonna make people's minds blow up, though. Me saying that, but if I'm GM, I try to get something for Dave, especially with the cap being what it is. You got to pay Minka soon. Definitely got to pay TJ. And do you try to make it work with Bud? Making it work with Bud means you might have to trade Dave away to save on the cap hit and.
Yeah. Oh, bye. Does anybody still keep track of what Super Bowl number it is? Like that used to be I used to know that. I have no idea what Super Bowl number this is.
You know what? I know because it's 10 removed from ours. We were 45. This was 55.
Oh, very good way of looking at it. Yeah. Now, how do you make the Roman numerals on that? What is that? L? LV? LV?
X. No. It's LXV.
X is 10. L, XV.
L is.
Man, if you're coming to Morning Java to learn how to do Roman numerals here, feel free to switch away. Let's talk about the game itself. The game is tough.
XLV.
XLV, there it is. Okay.
No. That was ours.
Wait,
Nope, I was wrong again.
what is it?
Look at us, the
It's
math.
just LV.
Super Bowl. LV.
All right. All right.
Because the X in front of the L takes 10 away.
We go last of the Mohicans in one segment, last of the Romans in this one. All right. So this is a tough game because I think Tampa has surprised people maybe more than they should have when it's a bunch of old guys suddenly rediscovering who they once were. I don't have a different way to describe what we're seeing from Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette in particular. Everybody's focused on Brady, but that defense that Tampa Bay's put together has gotten gradually better over the course of the season. I'm seeing a team that could hang with Kansas City if Mahomes is made human, but he often isn't human. So I'm really struggling here. What you got, Moan?
Man, I had Ryan Clark on my show here, and we asked this pick, and he's like, "Is Patrick Mahomes still alive?"
Yeah,
and I was like,
"It's easy, but it's fair."
It's easy. It is fair, but this is the thing, man. Playoff Brady is a real friggin' thing. If I'm a pick, I'll be honest. I'm picking a little bit of my emotions because it's guys that I know. I know more guys on that team,
Tampa,
and coaches and players. And Brady effect, the thing that really has me picking them over Kansas City, honestly, is their two starting tackles are out. Now, it's 2 weeks of preparation. They're really not leaving. They're not getting to Tampa to Saturday, okay? So the thing about this is we trust Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. It says this, they're going to find ways to protect him. And if we see a bunch of moving of the pocket and not drop back passes as far as the offense, then Kansas City can win. But if they drop back with Shaq Barrett and JPP, on the outside edge with Ndamukong Suh up the middle, Vita Vea is back, Steve McClendon up the middle, like they got some dogs up front. It can make a long day for Patrick Mahomes.
And they're spread out, like you were just indicating too. It's not like it's just coming from one side or it's just coming from the outsides. It's a lot closer to what Pittsburgh offers on a regular basis, where you just don't know. And never mind when they bring somebody else up to the line of scrimmage, which they also can do. Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty big variable. But to back up Ryan Clark's point here, this is an individual who's special. And that's not to say that Brady hasn't been, and including everything that he's achieved other than those 3 picks in the last game.
And still won.
But Patrick Mahomes is doing stuff that when you see someone in sports, any sport, who comes along and is just doing stuff that's special, and there isn't any discussion or debate or doubt as to who's way up here, man, that's a tough variable to get over, and he makes it look so casual and so easy, the way he did in the last Super Bowl, where he was just having fun, with that big goofy smile on his face. And what's to worry about? I've got Travis Kelce to throw down the field. I got Tyreek Hill. I can do anything I want out here. I can do anything I want. That's what that looked like.
It does. And honestly, they basically have a college style offense. We saw Green Bay try to run a similar play with Devontae Adams. You remember when Tyreek Hill ran in and then came back out and Patrick Mahomes hit him in the flat? That was like a college play. Not every team has a guy like that. And you're right. The thing that can be the X factor is, and I don't see how people don't find him, but Kelce over the middle. That's how they're breaking down teams, man. It's because linebackers get so caught up in looking at the quarterback, 15, Patrick Mahomes, that they honestly forget that there's a tight end, not a wide receiver, that was second, third as far as overall yards in the league. That's what's so crazy about
not among tight
ends.
Not among tight ends.
No.
Yeah.
We're talking about across
anybody
the
who caught a
league.
football. Yeah.
You watch him, and again, it's dynamic as can be. So it's hard to pick, but I do like Tampa. But goodness, I'm picking Tampa, and I say for these reasons: Larry Foote, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, Steve McClendon,
you're sticking with your guys.
Antonio Brown, even AB. Like, again, I was commenting on the article and the one thing that I said, and a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans said it too. It's like, yeah, he may be crazy. You can talk how you want to, but when them lights come on, you knew what you were going to get. And
he did not underperform in big games. There's anybody who says that is lying. You know, I made a reference in a podcast about AB yesterday, and I said you can have the extension over the goal line. You can have all the different records, you know, that he had, the franchise records and stuff like that. Yeah. I condense his career to New Orleans. I've never seen anything like that. And you were on the field for it. Okay. And I've never seen anything like that. You were on the field. Actually, I was about 7 miles up in the air there at that press box up in the roof, the Superdome. But yeah. That's the best receiving performance I've ever seen.
And you've seen, not Adrian, but you've seen a good bit of good play, you know, and he and I era, man, you can't deny it.
Nope.
I hated it for us.
Well,
but,
let's go to the other side and ask about the other guy, because Le'Veon Bell is on the Kansas City side. And if I was Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, and I thought the other team had me all figured out because of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and everything else, and figuring that Lev will come on kind of the way that D'Angelo Williams used to for you guys, where he'd come on every third series. Remember, that was the rotation.
Yeah,
it was 2-1, 2-1, whatever. And it worked because, as you guys would point out to me all the time, there was such a different.
You have to wait. Yeah.
But you guys had to adjust to both of them. Can Kansas City get realistically, especially missing their tackles, can they realistically get both CEH and Lev involved in the offense?
I'm not sure, because their offense is such a fast-paced offense, man. And when they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and his efficiency says that he's going to get more touches, he's going to get more runs. They're built for him more than they are Le'Veon. Le'Veon's a talent. When he went there, the first thing I said about Le'Veon was this: man, that's a nice passing threat. I didn't really mention the run. I think he can kill, Devin White? And I ain't gonna say kill him, but I think he can really.
I was gonna say,
Devin
stuff. White's playing.
Devin White's good
right now.
He's damn good. But if there's a competitive advantage, Le'Veon can work that slot like crazy. I expected
there's nobody
more than his run game.
Yeah.
I expected more of that than I expected handoffs.
Well, all right. What's a pick? Score. You said Tampa.
Definitely going to be high score. I said Tampa. I got Tampa. Man, I hope it's high scoring. Let's go 35-31.
35-31. Yeah, Super Bowls tend to go like that anymore. I could see it getting even crazier than that. But I'm going to go with Kansas City, because it could go crazier than that. And the one team that's more capable than the other of putting up some silly score, it is the Chiefs. I think this is Patrick Mahomes' time. I think while he has Travis Kelce in his prime, or maybe even a little late in his prime, and all these weapons, and while he still has
so many,
and their defense is better than most people think, I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this. Like what, 52-49 or something ridiculous. I don't know. We've had a couple of real stinkers for Super Bowls, you know, with these low scores and whatever. It's about time that somebody really drops a bomb on the whole process, you know?
Blow it all up.